Today I wanted to talk about a very Leo Aquarius topic, this polarity of Leo and Aquarius alongside squaring the nodes of Taurus and Scorpio, which also have to do with our intimate space, the space we share with others, and the boundaries that are needed and the give and take that's needed to share space. And Leo Aquarius is much about, Aquarius is the collective space, the community space, the social media space, which many of us are, if you're sensitive, getting a little bit burnt out on because we've been leaning so heavy in that world versus the face-to-face space, the community, the real community space. So, it's about that community space, and then Leo is about that personal space, that heart space, that what spark you bring that is a different sort of spark, even if it's all God source, it's all a different kind of spark. This is why I love astrology, and I'm a triple Leo. It's like, what makes you unique to share your unique message that might honestly be very similar to someone else, but the way that you're sharing it is going to draw in the people that need to hear it from you, from your mouth, from your page, from your space, okay? So that Leo space is very much about the personal space. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why it's so scary for so many to take up more space. Hi, Maggie. Happy full moon. It is so scary to start taking up more space. And, one of the things that I often think about with claiming more space, claiming, to show up more, to get bigger, to shine brighter, is that does draw attention. That does pull people in. That does, it's kind of like flying your freak flag, and that is going to attract in people to your space for better or worse. And one of the things that is key to remember here is that simply by hiding or by dimming your light, you're not necessarily shunning those people away. So you can still have a lot come into your space. But when you're claiming it and when you're out and open and saying, I am this is who I am and this is what I do. This is who I am and this is what I do. It is going to attract in people who want to try to tell you who you are and what you should and shouldn't be doing. And in my own personal journey of this, so I'll just share, I had my own business since 2008. I was doing birth work and childbirth classes. And even in that, the way that I was doing it drew attention in sometimes a negative way or in a way that other people thought you should do it this different way. But it's very different. I felt a bit safer being under the umbrella of birth work. And then in 2013, hi Anastasia, happy full moon. And then in 2013, I broke off and had my own business doing this work. So Sparkle and Shine Guidance was born. I started doing energy healing sessions. I started doing astrological chart reading sessions and working with couples and doing all of this self-help work, helping others navigate and shine brighter. And throughout that process, once I kind of came out of the metaphysical closet, because that's what it felt like. It felt like I was in a closet. And then in 2013, I came out of the closet and was like, hey, actually, I can read energy. Actually, I could my whole life, and many of us can. But I was in the closet. I was like not using it for that. And I came out of the closet and it was really scary. It was really scary. And very quickly, people that I grew up with, actually, I was very surprised. People that I grew up with were the most supportive. And the people that had the most trouble with it were either family. My mom was very worried about how men would perceive me and if I would be safe and all the things that a mother probably worries about. And people that I had met later on in life. So like people that kind of that in-between phase, like maybe having babies and meeting people. And a lot of those people were very like, oh, what are you doing now? And so when we do take up more space, when we do claim who we are, we do draw attention to ourselves. And that can be very frightening and very scary. And one of the things that I will add to that too is, especially if you're someone who is very sensitive to energy, you will know, and you will start to notice that if you're not careful, a lot of energy can be drained out that way. So people who all of a sudden become big time stars, they often start losing energy through drugs, alcohol, other places. And honestly, what happens is their boundaries are not yet. They have no idea. They're just flung into the limelight. And obviously, this is a big extreme. I'm not talking about like you claiming what you do for work, but it's related. It's relatable. So someone who all of a sudden people are speaking their name, people are, calling their energy without them really knowing how to deal with it, they're getting spread too thin, right? And this is the fear of taking up too much space. Why it's so scary is that when you take up more space, you have to be able to hold it. You have to be able to have the boundaries around it, and you have to be 100% that you can stand in that place. Like when you're claiming who you are and what you do, you have to feel like you can stand in it. And that's really challenging to a lot of people because we question ourselves. And this is especially true if you grew up in a household where you were questioned a lot, or where your worth was questioned, or where you were treated poorly. Then it's going to be that much more difficult to claim who you are and what you have to share. And this is why the healing work pairs so importantly with the work of claiming who you are and what you do, right? And if you're trying to just focus on the strategies, and you're trying to just focus on, okay, I have this business, or okay, I have this new thing I'm doing, but you're not doing any of the healing work, that's oftentimes where you see, young people, especially young stars, it's like they fall apart because the solid foundation isn't there. So when we're talking about being scary, taking up your own space, claiming who you are, claiming what you do, it is so vital to pair that with the deep healing work and the deep rewiring work. And this can often extend beyond this lifetime to past lives, to persecution pictures, especially when the work that you have to share is of an energetic quality. Even if it's not energy work, it might be, branding work, it might be coaching work, but you have this component of alchemizing for people or sharing something from a deeper place. That's when it can trigger the past life persecution pictures. And so pairing that healing work with that strategy work is why I do what I do. And it's so important, because if we're all talk and we're all out there like, this is who I am and this is what I do, but deep down there's some feeling of questioning, feeling not good enough, old parenting pictures coming up, old teachers from your life coming and questioning you, and this is all in the subconscious mind, right? And also past life pictures coming through of being scared to really show up. Like you might be showing up and saying what you do, but you might just share it once. And you're like, oh, I already shared that like a year ago. I already shared who I am a year ago. And in order to really show up in your true authentic self, unfortunately, it requires us to continually come back to who I am and what I do. This is who I am. This is what I provide. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is who I'm being. And this is what I have to share with you from this place, right? And so whatever that is, if that's you're making a product, like these gorgeous earrings, like you're making something, or you're doing branding work, or you're doing coaching work, or you're a farmer, hi Simma, or you're, whatever work you're doing, if you want to fully be seen in that, and you want to fully shine in that, it requires us to look at all of the shadowy pieces and all the shadowy bits that are keeping you from fully emerging in that, from fully blossoming in that. So in 2013, when people started questioning me and, oh, you read energy? How long have you done that? And it's like, oh, I've been doing that my whole life, but I was in the closet, right? So when you come out and you do something, you do have to be prepared to be questioned in that. And this is where, it's like that, whatever you're doing, if you're doing branding work, you're going to be questioned in that. You're going to have conflict with that. And the more you have conflict within because of old persecution pictures, because of old wiring, the more that you have questions within, the more you're going to draw in the customer, the client, the audience that is going to question you. And this was the biggest thing for me, is like, as soon as I could confront those pieces of myself that were scared that I was going to misuse my power, that I was going to harm someone, that I was told I was harming people from other lifetimes, that I was told I was harming people because I was a witch, or I was told I was harming people because I was using magic, or because I was using energy to heal people. We have to confront those fears, and once we do, they go away, and then we can shine brighter, and then we can take up more space. But it is, hi, Adam loves coconuts. Adam loves coconuts. But it is so vital to confront these places within us that are keeping us from taking up more space, from shining brighter. And it makes sense. It makes sense that in order to claim who you are and what you have to share with the world, that you're going to be questioned. You're going to be triggered. You're going to be brought forth the test that you need to stand in it even firmer, to stand in it even bigger. And this is so important, because the masculine within us will meet that test, when that comes up, will confront it. The feminine in us will want to just surrender and be like, oh, well, we all have something, and maybe they're doing it better than me, so I'll just lean back and not do anything. We need that healthy balance of masculine and feminine. But in terms of your purpose and your power and what you have to share with the world, that is healthy relationship with your masculine. So if you're out of balance with a healthy relationship with your masculine, you will just surrender and lean back and be like, oh, I'll just let someone else take that. They're doing it okay. And so there's nothing wrong with falling back on our feminine in certain areas, but in terms of shining and taking up space and showing up bigger, that requires that healthy balance with the masculine, where we're going to meet that challenge and pass those tests.